Welcome back, everyone. Now, are the Steelers for real? They seem to be getting better every week. And Lake, what do you think about this Steelers team? They're undefeated. Did you think they would be?
Thought they would be definitely much improved. I mean, you're getting Big Ben Roethlisberger back, a veteran quarterback, a guy who was coming off an injury, and they clearly missed him. They weren't the same football team without, a Super Bowl winner, an MVP caliber player, so that's helped them, get back to being the Steelers. And it's no coincidence that since he's been back, now you see guys like, Chase Bull, the new receiver that they have.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got more weapons, and you're seeing everything spread out. So, yeah, I thought they were going to be much improved. Maybe not 5-0, but I thought they would be one of the better teams in the AFC. This week, we get a chance to see them and that defense go up against the Tennessee Titans and their great rushing attack. So I think a lot more will be said after this week. We'll find out if they really are for real playing against Tennessee.
Hey, Marvin, shout out to our frat brother, the head coach, Mike Tomlin. Shout out.
Mike Tomlin, yeah. I was going to ask you, what do you think about that coaching job? I think he's done a pretty good job.
First of all, kudos to the Steelers organization with staying with coaches because, he's had those off seasons. He's had bad seasons. He's had good seasons. He's had to deal with the Antonio Browns. He had to deal with a lot of stuff. But to have them, the team is playing is a reflection of their coach. Mm-hmm. More often than not, we can go back to Joe Gibbs' teams, and the teams are a reflection of their coach. And that is a reflection of Mike Tomlin. You could see it in his press conferences. He's at a different calm level. I don't know if you've watched him. He's at a different calm level now, and his team is responding.
Hey,
shout out to Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
But the thing about it is, like Lake said, they've got all these skilled players, but where this team has really built their powerhouse back is the offensive line and the defensive line. That's what has improved this year, last year more so. And I think that's where they're dominant right now is their line play on both the defensive side and the offensive side, which, here in Washington, that's what needs to happen still.
And, that's what Jason Campbell said last week. You got to build from the inside, inside out. You got to have the strong offensive line, defensive line. That's what Pittsburgh seems to do. They've done it very well recently. Let's talk a little bit about the Tennessee Titans. I mean, that's a team that it looks like they're going to give Kansas City a hard way to go this year. And Ryan Tannehill is said to be their MVP. But in some ways, I see Derrick Henry as the MVP. What do you guys think about that?
They're not going to give it to a running back. I can assure you that. He's definitely playing like an MVP. But at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. That's just the way the league does things. They like to give MVPs to their quarterbacks. But this guy's the glue that makes Tennessee go. He's holding it all together. And the irony is, teams know on the other side of the ball, they're going to give this guy the ball 30 times a game. Nobody wants to come up and hit that big guy. And he's also fast enough to run by you, a la what we saw this past weekend, a 94-yard touchdown run. Nobody wants to come up and hit him. So Ryan Tannehill's playing great. It's a good thing to see him have a resurgence in his career, since he left Miami. But, Derrick Henry's the glue for Tennessee, but I don't think he'll be the MVP.
Something I did not realize, Tannehill has the best quarterback rating since he started with Tennessee last year. He has the best quarterback rating.
Well, you also have to attribute that to the fact that he's not throwing the ball 30 times.
Exactly.
I mean, this offense.
You got a great running game. Yeah.
Well, you guys have been around and long enough to know you covered Washington in their heyday. This is what Washington used to look like. Joe Theismann threw the ball 15, 17, 18 times a game and had great high percentages because he didn't have to do much. He just had to basically hand the ball off and get out the way. And that's what they're doing in Tennessee.
Hey, listen, the real MVP of that Tennessee Titans is their head coach, Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel.
He is orchestrating the Tannehills and the Henrys and that defense and that offense. I mean, that is right off of Bill Belichick's tree, and he is doing a marvelous job. So if you want to talk, the coaching cannot be overstated in this league. You know, the coaches that are figuring it out, like Jason Campbell said, and like we all said, putting their players in the right positions to succeed, those are the teams that are at the top of their division and the ones that are playing well, the ones that are morphing into the strengths of their team. And Mike Vrabel, even his time management, there was some calls that he had during that game that actually gave the Tennessee Titans a chance to win because of the way he called some of those plays. So Mike Vrabel is the guy. He's the guy for me. Yeah.
All right, and let's switch up and talk a little baseball. The World Series has just gotten started, and Lou, did the Braves kind of lose that series against the Dodgers, kind of blow it a little bit, because they were up 3-1 and they lost that series.
Yeah, little bit of blowing it, but again, the Dodgers did the same thing with the Nats the year before. So baseball's a really funny sport, and I just think it's the Dodgers' year. It is the Dodgers' year.
Okay. So what about you, Lake? I know you wanted to talk a little bit about that.
I mean, listen, the Dodgers are the most talented team in baseball, and they've been like that for 3-4 years. I mean, they're like an NBA All-Star team. I mean, they're loaded, and they've got offensive firepower. Their problem has been sometimes their pitching has disappeared in the playoffs. You know, Clayton Kershaw, great pitcher during the regular season, has had his struggles in the offseason, in the postseason. But this year, I do think that Dave Martinez and that team gets over the hump. Tampa Bay is not going to be an easy out. You know, they've been playing like it's been their team, and they've been destined all year too. And they've got great pitching. So this is a perfect matchup, great hitting versus great pitching. But I think the Dodgers win this thing. But I'm taking this thing to 7.
All right, and Dave Roberts, the manager, I think he really wants it bad. But I think their best move in the offseason was to get Mookie Betts. I think he just added that little extra, the speed on the base paths, the defense. He added something to that team. I think that's what makes them a little better than they were before.
I mean, that's a great call as MVP player. You get an MVP player with that talent. Yeah.
It's amazing how the Dodgers, like Lou said, and Lake, it's amazing how the Dodgers has just built that team over the last 3 years to be where it is now. But like you said, it's going to be interesting. You got the batters against the pitchers, but pitching, you've got to have that also.
Yeah. All right. Now, Lou, talk a little bit. We got a few seconds to talk about your golf tournament that you guys participated in today.
Let me tell you something. The Washington fan base and the team has been going through a lot, but one thing that they do well is the philanthropic stuff in the community. And Lake and I had a chance to play in Ryan Kerrigan's leukemia golf tournament, and kudos to the whole staff out there, Stephanie and Andy Eichberg, and my team Invictus of Mike and Danny and Rob and Bobby. We won low net for one of our groups. It was just a great outing, Lake. I mean, you had a good time too, right?
Yeah, we did. We actually won the low grossing part of the tournament, my team, and you know, just great guys. You know, I made some friends today, and you know, it's for a great cause. Beautiful weather out there on top of that. So, you know, it's my first time doing it, and I had a blast. You know, it's something I definitely think I'm going to be doing going forward, and I appreciate, you know, everyone out there, you know, and Lou also for reaching out too. So I appreciate that.
All right, well, that's all the time we have. That's all the time we have for this edition of Sideline Report. I'm Marvin Jackson for Lou Holder, Donna Hopkins, and Lake Lewis. Get out and vote, everybody. I know they want to tell you that too, but voting matters. Please get out and vote.
Make sure you wear a mask too.
Sideline Report, I'm Marvin Jackson. We'll see you next time on the Sideline.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.